I have Javier Valenzuela on the line. Javier is the owner of Rock Roofing in Tucson. He has been a client of ours for several years. He owns a company that's been around in Tucson. They do great work they've been around for about 20 years. And Javier, I really appreciate you coming on and having this conversation. I've got a quick question for you. First of all, before we started working together a few years ago, what were you doing for lead gen? How was it going? And give me a little experience about what you were doing before we started working together.
Before that, it was just we would go and seek the commercial. So there was schools and big commercial jobs, and that's where we were doing most of our business, was with big commercial and universities and school districts, and working with them. And because of the turnaround of the money, and then some of the big contractors holding back 10%, sometimes they carry us out 2 years, 3 years, and it was just excuse after excuse. And I had a lot of experience with residential in the past, because I've been in the business for over 40 years, and in sales for probably about that many years also. I was also going out to the field, of course, and working hands-on. But residential is a quick turnaround for as far as the funds that we need to operate, of course, the monies that we need to generate, and insurances are very high, and workman's comp, and of course liability, and the residential is so fast to turn around. We could start a job on Monday, and by Friday we have our check.
Right.
And we'll complete the job that quick. Sometimes when people are at home, the minute that we put on the last seal, or the last, clean up the last of the debris and finish up the job, they hand us a check right there.
Right. Cash flow is much better.
Cash flow is a lot better. And like, again, change orders, as far as, you have commercial, you have to do a change order right away, and it has to go through a lot, and a lot of times we just lose all those change orders. They don't want to pay them because they say, well, we didn't approve them. But you can't stop the process of the roofing because of the possibility of rain coming in. And if we have 5,000, 10,000 square feet of roofing that's open, we got to close it, because it's a lot of damage could occur if we leave it open. And of course, it happens once in a while.
Yeah, monsoon storm. Sometimes we get pretty nasty storms. They can do a lot of damage.
Amen. So we're happy with what we're doing now, is getting the leads, and we're happy to accommodate the public. It's a lot more work as far as the footwork, because you get one huge job and you're there for a long period of time, and you have to generate like 100 residentials to make up for that one big job.
Right.
So it's a lot of legwork, but it's worth it all in all. You get to meet a lot of nice people, and sometimes not so nice people, but that's okay.
Right. So we've been sending you both repairs and install leads through the marketing that we do. What's been your experience with the leads that you've gotten that we've been able to provide to you on a weekly basis?
I say that out of what comes in out of those leads, I say at least 80% is going to hit. Mm-hmm. We almost take it to the bank. As long as we show up in a timely manner. Like again, I was talking to you earlier, that because of sometimes that we get so much influx of calls that, we could get 30, 40 calls in one day, and that just overwhelms us, because we're only able to handle, let's say, 10 calls between the two of us, or 12 calls in the day.
Yeah, it gets a little crazy in the middle of the monsoon season, I know.
exactly. And then we still have to uh, be with the crews in the morning and set them up, and we got to go out to the job sites, make sure that it's the right residence and make sure that it's the right areas that are being roofed, because there's sometimes roofing the whole place. That's no problem. We could send the guys out. But when it's not, you just go ahead and concentrate on the area that's got to be repaired. But if
Right.
it's, and so we have to go out and point out the areas that have to be repaired. And sometimes, we send them out, and I've had them get up on the wrong roof, and say, oh, so that's no bueno. We got to be out there with the crews and make sure, we
Right.
say we got to show up with the crew and make sure we're at the right place and we're going to be doing the right job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Amen. Mm-hmm.
So we just started doing the database reactivation. By the way, that's great that you're getting. That's what we like to hear. When we're sending the leads and somebody tells us that 80% of them are turning into work, because we do, as you know, we do exclusive leads. We don't send these leads to anybody else. We only work with one company in each city with lead generation, and I'm glad to hear that that's working out so well for you. So we just started doing this new service that we have called database reactivation, where we go in and we get your past customers to get reactivated and bring income back into the company. We just started doing that about a month ago, and it looks like we've been able to send you up on about, well, at least appointments for opportunities for 59 roofs from your past database. We're still going through it. We haven't finished the entire past customer database yet. I'm working with Kim on that. How's that been going, and how quickly did you see results from that? And give me a little info about your experience with that so far.
Well, out of the ones that I've looked at, because let's say we already have a history with these people. So we have a track record.
Right.
Ice has been broken. They trust us. So when
Yeah.
we show up and we say this, and this, it's almost a done deal.
Yeah, they
We,
don't question you because they've done business with you before, and they trust your expertise. Yeah.
there's a trust. There's already a trust it's already a bond that's been built between us and the customer. And like I said, uh, we were this gentleman. He was up in his on top of his roof inspecting it because he was having problems, and then it so happens that we had done one of his rentals, and then he said, it's a coincidence. I'm up here, and he calls right away, and I show up the next day, and we talk. I give him we write up the proposal, and then a few days later, I have a deposit in my hand.
For a
And
roof replacement.
yeah, the whole roof. There's
Yeah.
about 14,000. We'll be starting it here in a couple of weeks, but at
Right.
least we got that. I talked to another lady that you folks contacted, and she says I want my whole roof. But when I went up there and I inspected the roof, I says, well, uh, I found that she didn't really need a roof, but she needed more extensive repair.
Right.
So I was able to generate a nice little $5,000 little tile repair,
Oh, great.
and that was and right now it's really it's really appreciated because our monsoon season was like almost like non-existent.
Yeah, it was the weirdest monsoon season. I've lived here since 1982, and I've never seen a milder monsoon season since I've lived here.
Yeah, yeah. I was in the roofing business back in the '70s and in the '80s, and I was used to those. It was like clockwork. Every afternoon we had
Right.
downpour, and
Yeah.
now I
Every
mean
day about 3 o'clock, the clouds would roll in, and normally you'd get the storm, and then by 9 o'clock it'd be cleared out, and the same thing would happen again the next day, and that would go on for like 6 or 8 weeks every summer.
and that's where we would generate a lot of work. And this
Right.
week we had like 4 or 5. We were lucky, and there was only like two of them that were kind of a little heavy, but
Right.
the other ones were just light. And I says, and but it's we're just fortunate that we've been around for a while, established, and we still get calls. But now we're out courting the casinos right now. We're out courting the tribes
Hmm.
and trying to generate and make up for that loss. So but what you've done for us is that there's already a bond between us and the past customer that when we show up, we do work. And a
Right.
lot of times, uh, we'll do a courtesy repair or stuff like that for them just to, but that's the way that's the way I've always wanted to operate because, I know that when I'm taking advantage somewhere, as far as, that I'm a customer, I'm a paying customer and they take advantage of me, I don't feel,
Yeah,
uh,
absolutely.
but when it, the the tables are turned, and I says, you know what, we're going to go ahead and repair it. And sometimes they're already a little bit past their warranty, but it doesn't matter. We still go in there and we do what we have to do to make the customer and myself happy and them happy, and that generates that says a lot about, our integrity. We
Well,
do. Go
Well,
ahead.
the other thing that I think is good with this system and what it does is it's also really important to get back out and keep in touch with your customers. I think a lot of not just roofing companies but small businesses, there's a lot of money in their database that they really have a hard time accessing, and really it's just a matter of having a good reason to go out and speak to them again. And like you said, when you go out and you talk to a past customer, if they have a need, it's almost like an automatic sale. You don't have to go into sales mode because they trust you. They've already um, done business with you before. And that's why we invested in this system, is because we recognized that this was something that almost no one in the roofing industry was doing, and like a lot of other small businesses also, and that it was a way to get your customers re-engaged with you on a regular basis. And I'm thrilled with the way the first month turned out. So I think we're going to be able to generate a lot of business for you, down the road from this system that we're doing, and the return on investment for it. I mean, you just mentioned we've produced what 59 opportunities from what we've done in the first month with it, and just with two opportunities, you brought in $19,000 worth of business, and you've still got 57 other opportunities to work on. So um, I just recognized when I saw what this did and what we could do for our customers that the ROI, the return on investment for this type of a system is just through the roof. And because there's no ad spend, you don't have to do the money for Facebook ads, you don't have to do the money for other things. It's just letting the system run and managing the system, and then going through your normal process of meeting with the customers. So um, one last question, and then I'm going to let you go because I know you really need to get to work. You guys get started early in roofing. What would you say to someone who is on the fence about getting our help to try to get the same type of experience that you've had so far? If you were giving advice to, say, another roofing company that we're talking to.
Well, the ice is broken and the trust is already there with the past customer. And I think that the percentage of us doing business with that past customer is even stronger. The possibility of landing more business.
Yeah, so you're
And
getting 80% from our lead generation, and I'm expecting you're even going to get a higher percentage of that from the database reactivation.
exactly, I figure that it's going to jump up to about 90. So 90%, and that's if they need something done. I'm not going to go up on a roof and because that's my forte, the roofing. I'm not going to generate work that
Doesn't
doesn't
need
have
it to be
that.
done, sure. Yeah,
Exactly. I'm going to call the spade the spade. He needs
sure.
something, I'll say something, or she needs something, I'll say something. If not, I'll just give it a blessing, and I'm on my way. But the
Right.
customer feels comfortable that they're going to be waterproof and watertight on their homes. But at the same time, I could point out other stuff while your sheet metal is failing here, your ductwork is failing here, your stucco, your masonry, your
Mm-hmm.
windows. There's other things that do the waterproofing on the building, and at that time, I could address those problems and generate more business for myself also. So
Sure.
just don't leave things unturned.
Yeah, what it does, it gives you an opportunity to get up there, see what they have, and you're a good, honest businessman. If they don't need anything, then of course you just made a contact with them. Maybe you can ask for referrals, while you're meeting with them to generate some other business. But it gives you an opportunity to get up on the roof, see what they have, and if they, most people, I think, when they respond and they say that they want the inspection on their roof, I think they suspect that they have some issues, and so they want somebody they trust to come out and take a look at it and find out if they do need anything, because I think most people realize that, especially with roofing, that if you don't fix something that you think is going to be a problem, it's just going to turn into a bigger problem down the road. That's just the nature of the roofing business. And so people like to get that taken care of as quickly as possible, and it gives you guys the opportunity to be the one that goes up there and takes care of it before they call somebody else. So um, that's what I think the main advantage of it is.
And not only that, but it's a preventative maintenance, regardless of the roof system. It could be tile, shingles, built up. It could be a single ply system. Whatever the system is, they need to be maintained.
Oh yeah,
Because
absolutely.
yeah, maybe it's just small detail that has to be addressed, but you want to keep the moisture from going underneath the membranes or the roof system itself, because at that point, when you allow too much moisture underneath them, of course, the systems begin to rot from the bottom up. So it's like a cancer, and
Right,
you
right.
really want to stop that from occurring.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
and that's the business that we're in. And
Yep.
regardless of if it's not the roofing, like I say, because uh, other things in the roof, like I say again, clear story windows, could be a skylight that's broken, mechanical ductwork on the ACs, stucco walls, and and on and on. And a lot of people, they allow, let's say they need some plumbing or electrical, and they
Mm-hmm.
go up there and they stub stuff through the roof, and they're not aware that these people ain't waterproofers. They're electricians or they're plumbers,
Right, right.
and they don't seal what has to be sealed properly. So
Sure.
then a
Yeah.
leak, or it's leaking a little bit, and they're not aware of it.
Right.
And when we go up and inspect it, then we pinpoint the problem and we bring it to their attention, and then of course we seal it. Maybe they get a back charge to their plumber or their
Yeah.
electrician,
Right.
but all in all, they get a good service, and they know that they could rest that the roof has been taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yep. So, would you recommend us to other companies for doing lead generation in this database reactivation service that we're doing for you?
definitely. It's a good. It's it, you know we had I had a friend that was a consultant, and and he passed I don't know 3 4 years back,
Mm-hmm.
and and his wife called me and she says, I have all of this paperwork of all his past leads. Do you want them so that you could go ahead and call them and then continue to maintain these roofs?
Right.
And of course I passed it up. And
This was another guy who was a roofing. He owned a roofing company also.
he was a roof consultant, so he did a
Oh,
lot
I
of
see.
commercial and a lot of residential.
Mm-hmm.
Trusted him, and so right now I feel like, well, I think I might give her a call and see if she still has some of those.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, you should definitely get that database because we could plug that right into this system and we could figure out a way to introduce you to them through his recommendation when we do the reactivation, and then you can turn those people into past customers for you. Absolutely. We can do that with this system.
Yeah, and I did a lot of roofing, and when I first got into it, he was one of my main leads. And
Mm-hmm.
I'll be doing over 2 million alone for this guy a year.
Wow.
He was just he was a great salesperson, but people trusted him because
Yeah.
he would do everything by the book. You know, it was all textbook. It was all by manufacturer spec.
Mm-hmm.
Everything had to be a certain way, and you know, it was all like union. It was you know, trade school stuff, and we just everything that we applied and all the systems that we did, they were all textbooks. So you know, he looked good because he did the right thing for the customer.
Right.
You
Kind of
know,
guy you want to be associated with for sure. Yeah.
yeah. So you
Yeah,
know,
well, I'll talk to Kim about that because that would be something that I think would, if you can still get access, if she's still willing to give you access to that database, that would be fantastic for your business because we could plug that right in and probably get the same kind of results that we're getting from your past database with it too. So absolutely.
we'll we'll uh, we'll ask, and that was Rick Hunsaker. He's the one that passed, and his wife's name is Julie Stevens. So we'll approach Julie, and hopefully she's still here in Tucson,
Mm-hmm.
and see if I could grab get a hold of that database, and we could go ahead and
That'd be
start.
awesome. All right. Well, Javier, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I know you're a busy guy and I know you got to get on with your day, so I'm going to let you go. I'm sure we'll be in touch over time with both you and Kim as we're going through this, and I'm looking forward to sending you lots of business over the next however long we work together. It'll be awesome.
Appreciate it, buddy. You enjoy your day.
All right. Thanks, Javier. Talk to you later.
Bye bye.